French Polynesia is a perfect place for answering this question.
In French Polynesia, Howard and Michelle started with the heavily populated islands of Tahiti and Moorea, where the reefs are close to shore. But with only 6 weeks left in the whole expedition, Howard had to get the big picture fast.
I'm used to hang gliders. I'm used to flying around in contraptions like this. But there's still something not quite right about an engine that will fit in my backpack. Moorea is sort of like Rousseau's Island. The coral here is very sensitive to siltation and pollution because the reefs are very close to shore. After checking out the north side of Moorea, we head across the mountains to survey the south coast. Even near towns, we didn't spot much reef damage.
Coastal development puts reefs in jeopardy. Siltation, pollution, and the loss of mangroves are all serious risks. But resorts like this prove that respecting the environment is good business because tourists avoid damaged reefs.
Our flight over Moorea just gave us a first impression. So with time running out, I turned to Reef Check aboard the survey boat, the Quicksilver Crossing.
Reef Check has over 4,000 sport divers in 60 countries, monitoring the health of coral reefs.
We asked Reef Check volunteers to check the coral damage here at Moorea to find out if the reefs closest to shore are the most severely damaged.
From the air, it's clear how these volcanic islands formed and how coral reefs formed around them. The steepest, youngest islands, Tahiti and Moorea, stand tall. These islands have not eroded and subsided much, so the coral reef ringing them is not far offshore. Bora Bora is middle-aged. The volcano has subsided and eroded somewhat, and the reefs are farther from shore. The final stage is this flat donut of an island called an atoll. The volcano has completely subsided back into the sea, leaving a ring of coral which once circled a tall mountain. The team headed for the second largest atoll in the world, Rangiroa, to survey the remotest reefs in French Polynesia.
10 years ago, a cyclone wiped out most of Rangiroa's coral. But storms are natural events, and coral reefs do recover from them, as long as human impacts don't interfere. Here the corals seem small but healthy.
Right away, we saw 2 male parrotfish fighting over territory. This was a sign of a large and thriving fish population. But why haven't we seen the huge schools of gray reef sharks Rangiroa is so famous for? Their absence is not necessarily a danger sign for corals, but it could signal an imbalance in the whole reef ecosystem. So finding the sharks became our main goal.
We searched the sharks' favorite hangouts, but they didn't seem to be home. We used caution because one thing you don't want to do is catch a gray reef shark by surprise. If the sharks are out roaming the reef in shallow water, the quickest way to spot them is from the ultralight. Throughout the Pacific, whole populations of sharks have been wiped out by commercial fishermen. Gray reef sharks are especially vulnerable, and that's what worried me. The aerial search for sharks turns up nothing, and we're running out of time. But there's one last place to look, to